Bell Elementary School, School 60 has more than 300 students.
How many? I'm sorry.
More than 300 students.
Spring Mill Elementary School in Washington Township has approximately 760 students, grades K through 5.
Medical doctors. There's a degree of skepticism, if not some frustration, among the general public, wanting to know why there are such extreme measures being taken for now a total of 3 people with the virus in Indiana, and they're wondering why there is such extreme precautions, warnings, and measures being taken when so few people are sick.
I just was on a conference call on behalf of Governor Daniels this afternoon with the new Secretary of Health and Human Services, Secretary Sebelius. The answer to that is that this is a novel virus. It comes back to the fact it's a new virus, and there are too many unknowns with this current virus. And we just know, we know that viruses, influenza viruses, have the capability of changing rapidly, and severity of illness could change. And we want to take every precaution, because if we limit the spread now, we may well be protecting many, many people.
There's also a degree of frustration in the amount of time it's taking to get test results back. How many days is the state waiting to get results back from CDC? How much quicker, how much sooner will the results get back if that testing is done by the state?
Yes, actually we will be receiving, I believe at the end of this week or early next week, we'll be receiving our own test kits, which should speed that up. And so the actual turnaround is, I actually can't say. I'm not exactly sure how long that testing will take. We're a bit backlogged right now as tests come in, but it will shorten the timeline. With CDC now, it's been a few days before we've been able to get the confirmatory test. But again, we're seeing mild disease at this point, and I think that's important to remember.
Are you saying the ages, and are these boys, girls who've been infected?
I'm probably not at liberty to tell you the ages of the children. I will just tell you that they're elementary age children.
What's occurred with them? Have they been confined at home, or what is their health condition? Number one, number two, where are they going to be going the next week?
Right. Well, their health condition is very good. They have what appears to be a very mild form of the influenza. They are under what's called a voluntary quarantine inside their house until they're deemed to be non-contagious. But they're doing very well.
Had either of them had any travels in recent time?
None of the 2 cases that were confirmed have had any travel to either Mexico or any of the states where there have been confirmed cases. There's been no travel outside the state of Indiana.
Are there any other children in those 2 schools, cases that you're monitoring right now, looking into any other children reporting being sick?
No.
Were these picked up as going to their doctor? I know that with the first case, Dr. Monroe talked about how that was picked up on a routine surveillance. Can you talk a bit about how these 2 cases were picked up?
I believe it's my understanding that they sought out their primary care provider, and it was the primary care provider who made the diagnosis and submitted the specimens of the diagnosis.
Superintendents, how concerned are you about this? You've got better than 1,100 students that have been exposed, not counting all of them that have siblings at home, as well as all those teachers. What's your level? Concern, fear, worry? Worry on this?
You know, I think we want to be calm about this, but I also think we have a high level of concern. Obviously, we don't negotiate about the safety of our children, safety and welfare of our children and staff. We're very concerned. We've been cooperating fully with all the public health officials involved, and we will continue to do so. I think this is a a matter, and someone mentioned inconvenience. You know, there's a difference between inconvenience and tragedy, and so we'll deal with the issues and the details that we have to deal with, because ultimately we want to be responsible, and we want to make sure that we protect the welfare of our school communities.
How does this week-long break affect students?
Let me answer this question. We're very concerned. However, we're being as proactive as we can to get ahead of this particular situation. We think we're acting promptly, and hopefully we can circumvent some of the more complicated issues that occur if we don't take these particular actions. So we're very concerned, and hopefully the record will show that this fast proaction will help us really avoid a more serious situation at my school 60, that's for sure.
So how does this affect then the rest of the school year going forward?
In terms of, this is probably one of the worst times for this to occur, because we're in the last month of school year, and we're right in the middle of an I-STEP test, and we have our good friend Dr. Bennett with us, and we're going to appeal to him to waive these days so that these students will not be penalized to go longer in school, but we still have the issue of the I-STEP assessment, and completing that poses some questions. So we have to work with the Department of Education as we look at how do we complete testings for the students in the schools, and also are there other academic kinds of activities that we need to get them to complete before the end of the school year, which for my students will be May 29th. So we have a lot to do in a short time, but I think with the help and cooperation of Dr. Bennett and the Department of Education, we can get everything in.